The subject then shot the pilot and the co-pilot. He then reloaded his pistol, and he grabbed another passenger by the hair and forced her towards the door of the cockpit, where he again shot the pilot and the co-pilot, both of whom were by this time slumped in their seats.
FBI Special Agent Thomas Farrow giving details of the attempted hijacking at Baltimore-Washington International Airport that left 3 people dead and 1 in critical condition. The hijack attempt started at 7:03 a.m. A man identified as a large Caucasian, about 43 years old, went to the boarding gate of Delta Flight 523 for Atlanta, brandishing a .22 caliber pistol, and shot an airport guard in the back of the head, killing him. He then went into the aircraft. 8 passengers were already aboard, continued to the cockpit, and shot the pilot and co-pilot. The passengers and stewardesses aboard escaped from emergency exits. 30-year-old Anne Arundel County policeman Charles Troyer ran down the boarding bridge, spotted the hijacker through the porthole of the door, and shot him, killing him instantly. Dead are the hijacker, the guard, and 32-year-old co-pilot Fred Jones of Dallas. In critical condition is pilot Doug Lofton, who suffered wounds in the back and shoulder. 21-year-old stewardess Karen Smoot wrenched her back jumping from the plane and is in fair condition. The hijacker also carried a briefcase, which police, with the aid of a specially trained German Shepherd, found was a crudely built gasoline bomb. If detonated while the plane was airborne, it would have blown everyone to pieces. Army bomb experts from Fort Meade detonated it several yards from the aircraft. Neither police nor FBI agents know anything further regarding the hijacker's motives. Andrew Silberstein at Baltimore-Washington International Airport.
Hello, how you doing? This is Fred Magee. I'm a retired officer from the Anne Arundel County Police Department. I was hired the August the 1st, 1959, and I was went through the academy there in January 1960. And then after graduating from the academy, I went on patrol in the Linthicum area. Well, I moved all about for a few years, but at the morning in question in February 1964, I'm sorry, 74 it was, I was assigned to the 201 car, which was the Linthicum area and Dorsey area. And we received a call shortly after I went on shift, and to respond to the airport. An officer needs assistance. There was attempted hijacking, and when I got there, Butch Troyer, which we all called him, but that wasn't his real name, but he had already been on the scene. He was working part-time at the time, and he had heard the shot when he was up to the coffee shop, and he ran down, and that's when he found Officer Ransberg on the ground, been shot in the head. And Butch then pursued the hijacker when the man there told him that he went down to get on the plane. He's going to hijack the plane. Then Butch ran down, and he took a few shots with his gun, but nowhere could his bullets penetrate into the airplane. So Butch returned and took Officer Ransberg's .357 Magnum and ran back to the plane. After he was there, and a few minutes or so, I arrived shortly on the scene, and I parked at the gate on the opposite side and run up the ramp and come into the building that way. And then Butch had run back, and he had looked to see if there was any help here. At that time, him and I ran down the ramp, and we took a position down the boarding ramp, and then an Officer Todd from the airport police department had come and assisted us, and we was there for a while, and Butch had said that he thought he shot him, because he seen what he thought was him. They come up past the door. He was putting a bomb down at the entrance of the door to attempt to blow the plane up, because he knew after he shot the pilot and co-pilot that there was no chance of him getting off the ground with the tires being flat. Lieutenant Miller arrived on the scene, Lieutenant Charles Miller, and he was with the 5 or 6 officers down on the lower level, and he gave an order for to blow the tires. The officers used to blow the tires out so the airplane couldn't leave, and Butch and I and Officer Tide decided we got to get in the plane. We got to take this plane back before it got off the ground. And we ready to go down to the lieutenant to come on up. And as we opened the door, and I went into the pilot's quarters where they were sitting in there, the cockpit, and Butch and Officer Tide took up a position to the rear of the plane, facing the rear of the plane from the front of the plane, where they could control the situation. As we went in the door, there was a white male laying on the floor, gasping for breath. And that's obviously, at the time, we didn't know that was the individual, and that was trying to hijack it. But then, through investigation, we found out that was him, because none of us had seen him at first, what he looked like. But at that point, Lieutenant Miller come up, Lieutenant Charles Miller, and he took over the investigation. Me being a district officer at the time working the road, I had to respond back to my district and patrol my area. So after that, I have no detail other than what I have been told afterwards. And but Lieutenant Miller, Charles Miller, had all the information. When Lieutenant Miller arrived on the scene on the second floor where we were, we had secured the airplane just before that, and the passengers was bailing out the back of the plane, going down the chute. That's when that young lady had hurt her back, injured her back, jumping on that ramp. But Lieutenant Miller come up and he ordered one of, I think that was Dale. It's been so long ago. Dale Smith, Ray Smith, I'm sorry, to take the attaché case was there, out in the runway away from everything. So they did that. They notified the bomb squad, and then I had to get back on patrol. So I left, and I was told later that it was a firebomb. It was gasoline in there, and his intentions was, what they thought was to carry out, to set the plane afire when he knew there was no chance of getting off the ground. At the time the bomb was deactivated, it was Fort Meade Bomb Squad that was summoned to the airport to deactivate that bomb. And also at the time, we did not have a SWAT team, and it was just the road officers that was involved in the taking back the airplane. And when I went into the cockpit, I did know one of the pilot was dead, and the co-pilot was wounded. So then the medics were summoned at that point, which they were on the scene immediately. Officer Charles Troyer was very alert that day, and because of him, he saved a lot of lives. And sad to say that just about 2 or 3 years ago, we called him Butch. That's what everybody called him in the department. Butch passed away, and it's sad. And for his good work and good deed, the county police department named the training center Butch Troyer's Training Center, which was an honor in itself. Butch was there over 30-some years. We never did think he was going to retire, but finally he did. But he was a terrific guy, and he really did the county an honorable favor that day. The officer that George Ramberg got shot in the head was the first one shot on the scene that morning. He was a terrific guy. I knew him from working part-time with him over the airport. And he was a scoutmaster, and he was due to get married, I guess in a couple months or less than a month. I can't remember, it's been so long ago. But the only thing was, he was such a terrific individual that it was hard to accept that, you know, what the guy did to him. And like I say, Butch was married and he had children, and I lost touch with Butch after I retired in '85, and but I seen his wife not too long ago, and she reminded me that he passed away, and I said, yes, I heard that, and it was sad. But it was a horrible morning for all of us to see a comrade fall like that, and the young man didn't even have a chance to defend himself. And I said, where's the officer? And he hollered, he's down there at the airplane. And that's when I ran. Butch hollered for help, and that's when I ran down in there and to assist him. And then Officer Tide, of course, come in later. And Officer Tide later retired from the fire department at BWI. He was a law enforcement officer at the time that this happened at BWI. I tell you, everybody was shook up. All the friendship officers, and of course all of the county officers there worked special detail there. We were all upset too, because we all knew George Ramberg, and he was a terrific guy, you know, and we all kept saying to ourselves, why him? Why was it him? You know? But it was sad. And I could only feel for his girlfriend and his mother and father at the time, because he was a well-known kid at his area that he lived in.
Bike hijacked a Delta Airlines flight leaving Baltimore, Maryland, and he had big plans, namely to crash the plane into the White House. Bike had a gun and a bomb on board. When he got to the cockpit of the plane, he shot both the co-pilot and the pilot, killing the first and injuring the latter. Thanks to the unsmart thinking of taking out the pilot, Bike never got the plane off of the ground. Then a police officer pursued him, who shot him while he was still in the plane. Accounts vary as to whether or not the cop killed Bike or merely wounded him before Bike took his own life. Bike didn't get to carry his plan out, but he did leave his mark on pop culture. He's a character in Stephen Sondheim's and John Wiedeman's 1991 musical Assassins. And he was portrayed by Sean Penn in the 2004 film The Assassination of Richard Nixon. He's even alleged to be one of the inspirations for the character Travis Bickle, who was played by Robert De Niro in the 1976 hit film Taxi Driver.
Nobody move! Nobody move! I'll kill you! I'll kill you! I got a bomb! I'll shoot you! Yo, come here! Come here! Come here! Just close that door! Close it! Close it!
Sir, just calm down. Just
What?
calm down, okay? We're gonna be able to take care of anything you need.
Go! Go! Gentlemen, my name is Sam Bick, and if you don't move, then no one will get hurt. If you don't move, then no one will get hurt. You understand? Okay, I want you to fly this plane. I want you to fly it low. I want you to fly it very low.
I hear you, Sam. So, here's what I need to do. I need to call the tower, okay? I'm gonna call the tower. What I'm gonna reach over here, I'm gonna get my headset. I'm gonna put it on and I'm gonna call the tower because I need them to come and take the tugs out from under me. Okay, Sam? You listening to me, right?
You have to help him to fly the plane. Okay? So, she's gonna help you to fly the plane. You have to move him.
Sam, I can fly the plane myself. Hey, just let it go.
Look at me, Maestro. Am I smiling? Tell him why I did this, Maestro. History needs to be clear on this. They can rebuild the White House, but they will never forget me. Not ever.